Hello, today is Tuesday, June 9th, 2026, and came across a meditation which kind of piqued my interest, and I thought I'd share it with you today. And once again, it's from the Center for Action and Contemplation Christian organization by Father Richard Rohr, a Catholic priest who every time I read stuff from his organization, I am often amazed that he hasn't been defrocked or kicked out of the excommunicated from the Catholic Church. But to me, a lot of what they write focuses on more on what Jesus said and did, rather than focusing on the doctrine that grew up around Jesus. Anyway, the meditation for today is called Mutual Interabiding. And it begins with the writers saying the CAC faculty emerita Cynthia Borgalt highlights the primary quality of the kingdom of God is an experience of interabiding, one with God and one with one another. And then Borgalt writes, the hallmark of this kingdom awareness is that it sees no separation, not between God and humans, not between humans and other humans. And these are indeed Jesus's two core teachings, underlying everything he says and does. No separation between God and humans. When Jesus talks about this oneness, he's not speaking in an Eastern sense about an equivalency of being, such that I am in and of myself divine. What he more has in mind is a complete mutual indwelling. I am in God, God is in you, you are in God, we are in each other. His most beautiful symbol for this is where he says, I am the vine, you are the branches, abide in me as I in you. And she references John chapter 15, verses 4 through 5. A few verses later, he says, as the Father loved me, so I have loved you. Abide in my love. John chapter 15, verse 9. What he does indeed claim While he does indeed claim that the Father and I are one, John 10:30, he does not see this as an exclusive privilege, but as something shared by all human beings. There is no separation between humans and God because of this mutual interabiding that expresses the indivisible reality of divine love. We flow into God and God into us because it is the nature of love to flow. And as we give ourselves to one another in this fashion, the vine gives life and coherence to the branch, while the branch makes visible what the vine is. The whole and the part live together in mutual loving reciprocity, each belonging to the other and dependent on the other to show forth the fullness of love. That's Jesus' vision of no separation between human and divine. No separation between human and human is an equally powerful notion and equally challenging. One of the most familiar of Jesus' teaching is love your neighbor as yourself, Mark 12:31 and Matthew 22:39. But we almost always hear that wrong. We hear love your neighbor as much as yourself. If you listen closely to Jesus' teaching, however, there is no as much as in there. It's just love your neighbor as yourself, as a continuation of your own being. It's a complete seeing that your neighbor is you. There are not two individuals out there, one seeking to better herself at the price of the other, or to extend charity to the other. There are simply two cells of the one great life. Each of them is equally precious and necessary. And as these two cells flow into one another, experiencing that one life from the inside, they discover that laying down one's life for another, John 5:13, is not a loss of oneself, but a vast expansion of it, because the indivisible reality of love is the only true self. And for me, I mean, if you don't have a concept of God or don't believe in God, once again, I think if you substitute the word love for God, um, there's an indwelling between all humans, between the divine love and oneself, and really of all creation. Um, and in a sense, I might disagree with Bergalt when she writes that he is not speaking in an Eastern sense about equivalency of being, such that I am in and of myself divine. I think there is a reference there in the sense that love dwells within me and within others and within all of creation. And when you see yourself as part of one whole being, all of creation, rather than an individual separate from all everything else, um, it changes how you relate to one another and how you see each other. And to me, it flies in the face of this hyper individualism that is rampant within the United States, where we all are out to get what we can for ourselves. Um, and I think it's fueled by this Christian nationalism, um, which is so focused on power and control for one thing, but the aspect of Christianity that they glam onto is salvation for the individual in the next life. And really, the salvation is found in this life, in relationship with one another, in relationship with all of creation. Um, and being in relationship is where love dwells. Love exists because of and in relationship, not not in the individual, not just for oneself, but for all of creation. Um, so anyway, I mean, that's one of the things I was thinking about as I read this. Um, there is no separation between God and humans, Burgall writes, and there is no separation between humans and humans. And I would say even between humans and creation, we are a part of the Earth, which is part of our solar system, which is a part of our galaxy, which is part of the universe, and we are all intertwined and part of one another, part of a whole, and we need to recognize that, um, and thinking in that way really changes our perspective when we look upon someone else. Um, we don't see another being, but we see ourselves. And thinking in that way really changes how we treat one another, how we treat creation. So, hope that's given you some thoughts to carry with you through this day and to start seeing in a different way, looking around you and looking at people you engage with, people you see on the street, um, things in the world, looking up, admiring the trees that grow around you, the wildlife that exists even in the midst of the city as I live in, and really come to appreciate your part in this whole.